Hello and welcome. It's great to be on my own LinkedIn Live. Let's talk marketing episode 1. So let's see, just let me check that I'm live given the lag and like to see who all is joining. Just drop us a line from wherever you're engaging. Let's talk marketing episode 1. Right. At my end, I'm not sure why. I've just plugged onto StreamYard, just got the heck of it, but I am unable to see the LinkedIn comments. So forgive me, my LinkedIn family, if I'm not responding to your comments as you're typing them in. I will make it a point to respond to it straight after the live. I'm not getting it for some reason. I don't know, maybe something's on the technical side that I haven't figured out. Ah, thank you, Angela. You just popped in, and there I'm getting the comments finally. Altaf, lovely to have you, brother. Great to see that the comments are coming through. Thank you for joining me on my first very own LinkedIn Live. And I'm happy to be doing it with the very first episode of Let's Talk Marketing as a podcast. This would come out every Monday, either at 3 p.m. Malaysia time or at 4 p.m. Malaysia time. I'll settle into that. So thank you for joining me today. And hello, Ahab. I can see your comments out there. Lovely to have you all join. So let me move myself out and get into the tips so it's easier. By the way, you can download the entire tips booklet from my featured section in my profile on LinkedIn. It's very much there. So no worries, you'll get everything. Let me get on to sharing the tips with you all. So here we go. This is the tips, and this is what you'll see on my featured section. It's called tips. I'm giving you all 5 smart and simple tips that cuts across businesses, whether you're in B2C or B2B, really doesn't matter. These work across board, and these will help whether you're a service provider, manufacturing, or product oriented. These work. So Indrajit, thank you for the support. Great to see you. So let's rock on. Number 1, this is becoming more and more apparent as we are progressing past the pandemic, so to speak. Yeah, my friends in India, I hope you are safe and stay safe. There are countries, the pandemic is taking its toll, it's doing its rounds everywhere. We've also out here in Malaysia are just sitting on tenterhooks whether we're going to go in for yet another restricted part lockdown or not. But one of the fallouts of this lockdown is that it has brought a huge change in behavior for each one of us. And one of the significant areas in that behavior change is we've become a little bit more empathetic. And I say this from a marketing perspective. I'm finding both dealing with clients as well as dealing with customers that there's a little bit more warmth and a little bit more requirement to come from the heart. So this particular tip is all about be honest. I'll use that word. Be honest. Be actually from your heart and lead, because that's going to show up in your attitude. It's going to show up in the culture that your brand provides. Tip number 2, that heart connection helps you to actually differentiate your brand. And that differentiation you can then carry forward in terms of establishing the legacy of what your brand that you want to leave behind. And the legacy will come from the purpose of the brand. Please remember, differentiation is not in the service or it's not in the product. It's actually how you make your employees, your customers, your stakeholders of your brand, anybody and everybody who's in interaction with your brand, how you make them feel. It's in that experience. That's what influences the perception. Remember that. Tip number 3, look at CSR very, very strongly. CSR is an integral part of marketing. And the next tip will also be related to that. But CSR has to flow from your business purpose, and it has to jive in or fit in with the marketing strategy that you adapt. And why do I recommend CSR very strongly? These are the three reasons. One, remember the first tip, heart connection. CSR allows you to establish that human story, allows you to connect with empathy, connect with emotion. The second point is that if your CSR is really well defined and well connected, you'll find that it'll connect with an interest of your customer group. And lastly, it actually helps the brand create opportunities to deliver value aside from the core reason why the brand exists. The brand is probably making life easier for your consumer through its product service. But outside of that, providing information, providing thought leadership, creating conversations are ways of giving value to your customer. And CSR then becomes a very meaningful way forward. And there are tons of brands all the way across there in terms of references. And I'm happy to share those on a group basis, on a separate call, not on a LinkedIn Live, of how various brands have actually built their marketing on CSR. Fourth point, very closely related, is you've got to think cause marketing from the start. So I'm going to rewind a little bit here on this fourth tip. When you're sitting down and looking at your business and you're thinking of your marketing, the first step in terms of very simple thing is to answer this question, what's my purpose? Why am I in business? And that purpose has to flow into your marketing in terms of strategy. And that marketing purpose and your business purpose has to be able to connect to a cause that your customers find common, are really interested in. And there are 1,001 social causes, and you can go through the UN list, you can go through the World Economic Forum list, you can create your own cause. It could be a Blue Jeans Friday for all that matters. And you can connect your cause marketing and your corporate social responsibility together to be a very solid marketing strategy that you communicate out. Please remember one thing here. Content, social media management, digital ads, all of these are next steps to strategy. Strategic marketing is identifying what you're going to be communicating, who you're going to be communicating, and how does it add value. The third point is most critical, absolutely. So coming back to tip number 4, cause marketing. Why do I recommend CSR and cause marketing hand in hand? Simply because of these 3 points. It'll give you higher engagement. So when you have higher engagement, you automatically get a higher lead funnel, to use jargon. You get better leads to talk to and convert. Number 2, you get cause marketing gives you the ability to create or have stories that connect emotionally. This is very important. I started with the heart connection. If your brand is not connecting from the heart and it's not creating an emotional, empathetic connection, you're losing the game. There's no marketing happening. You're just doing some activities under the label of marketing. Last, cause marketing gives you a platform, your own platform that cannot be imitated, cannot be copied, right? To customize the customer experience as you want it. So there are loads of ads that have happened on the occasion of festivals. India is a great example for Diwali last year. There have been some beautiful ads that have gone out. We've got some lovely ads in Australia, in Thailand. If you look at the communication that cause marketing allows, it really brings the platform to give your customer an experience that only the brand can deliver. Alok, thank you very much. Amit, really happy you could join. Harsh Bhai, delighted to see you on the feed. And Nahi, thank you so much joining in from Dubai at this hour. Let me carry on back to the last tip, and I'll come back to some comments. Please do share if there's anything on as questions, initial requirements. I'll be happy to pick it up now that the comment seems to be working. The first tip and this fifth tip are very deeply interconnected. I started the first tip by saying you must embrace and have a heart connection where your marketing is concerned. And it connects back here on this fifth tip. Great marketing requires great leadership. I have to read this out. There is no other way. Great leadership is not about delegation, is not about time management. It's not about winning the first time round. It's about connecting the purpose. It's communicating the purpose in a manner that it draws a picture in your recipient's mind in his or her way, aligning to his or her values. That's the great leadership that it requires. That's when you align that and you communicate it in that manner, you're able to create employee engagement. Your team internally will do it because they want to do it. They volunteer, not because it's a job. There's a huge difference here. And then you take responsibility as the leader for the brand culture. How you behave, how you act, what you say leads the brand culture. So I could be jumping out of place, but I'll try and give a quick example out of India that came through yesterday. Harsh Bhai, you shared this. The managing director of Britannia put out an article, gave out a press comment asking the sales team to take care and stay back, and it's not worth it going out. That is a heart connection. That is a great example of brand leadership. And I'm trying to just give this immediate topic relevance because you'll understand what marketing then requires. It requires on the spot action, which are purposeful, value driven, and actions that translate into a fantastic experience for your employees and customers together, not isolated. One of the things in marketing that we often tend to look at, we tend to look at employee engagement and customer experience in silos. It doesn't work in silos. You have to bring it holistically together. As a human being, our experience up here happens together. It's not just by ourselves, individually just feeling and going through. Our experiences, our emotions are a sum total of everything that all our senses take in. And more on this when I come across with Nahid on my second LinkedIn Live on Wednesday, Clarity Talks. Watch out for that and catch it. That talks all about communication. So coming back, these are the 5 tips. These are what you can use immediately, irrespective of what service line you're in, to actually restructure. If you need more, there's more available on my featured section on LinkedIn, or feel free to simply just book a 20-minute discovery session with me. Happy to discuss your outlines, your issues, and provide some advice. You can also reach out to me on DM, on LinkedIn, and fix up a time to have a chat. So let's see what comments have come in, and we'll take it from there. Right, so I have a couple of questions which have come in on message. I'm going to just check them out. Please give me a second as I'm looking up the messages here. Right. Thank you, Alok. I'll check that link up after the live. I can't see it directly from here, but I'll definitely check that up. For others, please feel free to see this over here. It's right here. Alok has shared it. You can also just copy it down or look it up on LinkedIn, and you'll be able to get it. All right. So that's the 5th tip. I couldn't switch between the technicals and otherwise, but let it be. It's okay. No harm done. Yeah. So I have a question which I'll take. This is the one on the message which says, what's most critical in marketing? Understanding what the customer needs or the customer wants? Great question. Great question here. So you see, identify the purpose of your brand and then define the target, define your customer. It's very important for you to understand your customer group from not just a demographic basis, but from a value perspective. What's important to that customer? What are his or her hopes and aspirations? Why do they want to interact with this brand? Now, this all pulls back to purpose, legacy, and vision. When you analyze your data, oh, by the way, yes, Without data, you're a dead fish in the water. So you've got to have this data about what do the clients like, what is my customers talking about, what are the social conversations that's happening, because that gives you an insight into their aspirations, into their thinking. And the brand can then use the right keywords and communication in its content to actually go in and do some right engagement which connects with that customer. So the main thing here is create your marketing strategy by understanding who you're marketing to, who's your customer from a value perspective. And that will then flow into your content marketing and your marketing activities and promotions that you need to do. So that's it from today. 5 tips, smart and simple. Take it away. Thank you for being with me on this Monday, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the following Monday. Any questions, any last minute questions? I'll keep this on for another 30 seconds and we'll then move on from here. Please feel free to add on your comments on LinkedIn Live. I'll respond to them in a bit just after the live. Tess, thank you so much for your support. Lovely to see you on this feed. Really appreciate it. Thank you all. So if there's nothing else, I'm going to lock off the live and stay safe. Have a great week, and I'll see you all again next Monday, same time. Look out for the alert. Ciao.